Hey, I'm Nathan. Wanted to run through some binoculars with you. I admittedly have a little bit of an obsession, and I genuinely appreciate good optics. And I'm kind of walking through these right quick, why I bought these when I bought them, and maybe you can learn from some of my mistakes as to purchasing. I know I can sell them on the internet, but I'm not big on selling stuff. If I've got it already, I usually just keep it. So most of these are Vortex. I've got 3 different diamondbacks, a Viper, Razor, and I've got a redfield 10x42 that was my first pair that I bought, and I like them. But I'm going to run through them real quick. Try not to make the video too long, but maybe you can pull something out of it. So from all my searches and things, maybe it'll save you some time. So started my love for optics when my wife and I decided to go on an Alaskan cruise, a few years ago. We started off in Vancouver, we went north through Ketchikan, Juneau, Glacier Bay, that cruise. You may have been on it, may have heard about it. I do recommend it. It was a lot of fun. What made it for me, we had a suite that was had a balcony, and it was off, I guess, on the east side, starboard side, going up north. It was east. And before we went, I just on a whim went off and bought a pair of these redfield 10x42s. And I'm not much of a cruiser. I'm really not. My wife loves them, so I definitely like them. But what I really enjoyed on that cruise was I sat out on the balcony with these, and I sat there and glassed the mountains. I saw bear, I saw whales and mountain goats, icebergs, things that just popped to me with these. I had never had much experience with optics. I guess I was probably, 31, I guess, on that trip. And started my journey, I guess you can say, with these things. So after that trip, I used these to hunt with, and I had always before just used a scope to look at whatever I was looking at when I was hunting. And of course, you always hear that in hunter's ed and all that, it's not recommended, it's dangerous, and it is. But most of us do it anyway. Well, I started carrying these after that Alaska trip, and watching the Outdoor Channel, Sportsman Channel, and watching those guys use glass to hunt with. And you do start picking things out that you had never seen before. A flick of the ear or a tail, or maybe a hoof or a leg. Things that just 100 yards through the woods you would never see, and then all of a sudden, boom, there it is, right? And these redfields, they're inexpensive, but for what they are, they're fantastic glass. You don't have the twilight time, and you don't have the quality and all the things you get with some of the higher ends. But if you just want a pair of binoculars just to go and have, you can pick these up on eBay for about $100. And definitely recommend them. They're great. So fast forward a little bit, watching the Outdoor Channel, and some of those guys that hunt out west, they usually use Swarovskis and Jaworskis. They also use a lot of Vortex, and I had not heard of Vortex until a few years ago when I was watching all those Outdoor Channels. So good ad for you guys. But Academy Sports is selling these. It was a 10x28 diamondback, and picked them up. Love the way they feel. I love that coating that they put on these. It just feels good. And so when I bought it, I thought, I know it's not going to be as good as my 10x42, but I travel, I hike, I do some stuff like that, and wanted something light to carry with me. These are a little over 14 ounces, 14.2 I think ounces. Real narrow field of vision. The redfields are about a 325 to 1,000, 6.5 field of view. These are a lot narrower, 270-ish, 270, whatever I said a minute ago, 274 or something. 5.8, 5.7 field of view, if that means anything to you, I don't know. But the magnification of 10 really does matter. You can see that. It just doesn't gather as much light as maybe a 42 or 50 barrel. So I started using them bow hunting and taking them with me on hikes. I went out to Telluride on a hike with these, and it was so cool. Also went out to Eagle. I sat up on Boneyard Trail off of Eagle, off of Highway 70, and sat up at the top and just looked down on the city and the airport. And what just an amazing evening. And I thought, wow, that was really neat. These didn't add hardly anything to my hike. Saw some mule deer on the other mountain on the other side, and boy, I just said, you know, these 10x28s for you if you're active and if you just want to carry something even in your pocket, it works very well, and I like them, and I don't know that I'll ever get rid of them because maybe bow hunting or whatever. I have a pair of swim trunks I'm painting. You might see some paint on me, but here, I'll put this in my pocket, and so I'm gonna step back, and I don't know if you can see it. Honestly, you don't even know they're in my pocket. They're so light and small. So anyway, something to think about if you're looking at that. $150, pretty good pair. So then I went with the Diamondback 10x42s because I wanted something with a name brand, and did the Diamondback. You know, these are great. They're very bright. If you're gonna buy one pair of binoculars, I don't know why you wouldn't just buy a 10x42. We've got a 12x50 there. I'll tell you about that in a second. But the Diamondback 10x42 is a spectacular, fantastic pair of optics. They have the same coating. I love that coating. I love the thumb grip guards that it has. Some things about them, they're basic, you know. They're a couple. I don't know. I wrote down some specs for you to save you some time. The 10x42 Diamondbacks 330 to 1,000 field of view, 6.3 degrees means at 1,000 yards you see 330 feet at 1,000 through these. If that makes more sense to you, 21.4 ounces. So 10 ounces more than those 10x28s, and you definitely see a big difference between the 10x28 and the 10x42. In clarity, because you're pulling more light, magnification is the same. But you're going to feel like you have better magnification when you can see better with a better resolution and more light gathering that the 42 offers. The 42 tends to have a very clear picture. When you step up into the 50s, you give away a little bit of resolution. I bought these 12x50s because I thought, well, I wanted something later at night that wasn't going to cost me $1,000, right? And so I thought, well, maybe I'll just get the 12x50 and I'll be able to see better later on. And yeah, maybe a minute or two. The Diamondback 12x50s are really, really good. Like I said, you don't have as crisp of an image as the 42 for whatever reason. I think when you get to the bigger barrel, it just seems to take away a little bit of that crispness, but it's very hard to tell the difference. One bad thing that I will say about the 12x50, two things I think that the reason why I just don't grab these and go to them all the time is 12x50s are 271 at 1,000, 5.2 degree field of view. The 10x28s, just for clarity, are 273 to 1,000, and that'd be about a 5.2 degree field of view. So 271. Also, these eye guards. Let me show you these real quick. They when you pull these off, it has this little rubber stopper on them, and if you can see, they come together. And my eyes are, I guess, narrow, and so when I put these up to my eyes, I can't. It doesn't work. So I have to pull these down, and they end up kind of dangling. It's just a little bit of a nuisance to me, and then I can put the barrel together, and when they're together, for me, they work just fine. You may not have that problem. You probably have a bigger head than I do. So anyway, the 12x50s for me, I don't use them that much. I've got a gas line across the street from my house that in my neighbor's yard. It's a lot over there that has a warning sign, and it has some smaller writing under the warning, and it's just smaller than where it says warning. And I can read them barely with a 10x42. The 12x50 obviously has got a bigger magnification, and I can make those letters out better. Now when you pull I don't know. It's not enough to even make much of a difference. That what I see more than anything is the field of view, and the 12x50 is way more narrow than the 10x42s. The 8x42s are probably, if you want field of view, they're probably the best. But I like a little bit more magnification. So I went ahead and after getting those and using all the diamondbacks, natural progression wants something a little bit nicer, right? So picked up a pair of Viper HDs, and wow, they are crisp, clear, amazing image. I can't say enough about these Vipers. I think Vortex really hit a sweet spot with this. The specs on it are 362 at 1,000, 6.9 degree, 24.8 ounces. A little bit bigger grip and barrel. It still has the thumb deal. It has, how do I put it? I don't know if they're bigger. You tell me. I think they're a little bit bigger, and you can feel it in your hands that they're a little bit bigger. But I don't mind that. I don't mind that at all. It still feels very good. It's ergonomic. It's great. The locking diopter and all that's good. Compared to a diamondback, you can tell a difference. You can see the difference of clarity in glass, especially at long distances. If you look out past 1,000 yards, if you're looking out from one ridge to another ridge, the Vipers stand out over the diamondbacks. Now, if you're hunting or using these diamondbacks for 100 yards to 300 yards, you don't need anything else. They do really well. These might give you 5 more minutes of maybe 5 to 7 minutes of daylight at the end of the day, where you can see at twilight some different things. If a deer walks out at 400 yards, you may be able to see him and see if it's a buck or a doe. You probably won't count the points. Diamondback, you may or may not even see that deer. Bright at dark. So the Vipers are sufficient, in my opinion. Did I need to go buy a pair of razors? Absolutely not. I got some today and have unboxed them. So let's get to those real quick. The Viper. Excuse me, that's the Viper. The Razor. Razor is 362, 10x42, 6.9, and I think I told you wrong a minute ago. The Viper is 319 field of view. The Razor is 362. So a little bit different. These have a better field of view. Now, what I can tell with both the Vipers and the Razors over the Diamondbacks, and the Razors are better than the Vipers at the field of vision. What I mean by that is if you're looking, let's say 200 yards away, and you look through your knockers, and you see a deer walk out at 100 yards, maybe there's a tree at 100 yards, you're going to have a more clear field of vision with both the Vipers and the Razors at 100 yards if you're focused in for that 200-yard range. With the Diamondbacks, you won't have that. You won't have that crisp 100-yard field of vision. Now, the field of view, what I was telling you about with 1,000 at, so these are 362 at 1,000, these are 319 at 1,000, the Diamondbacks are 330 at 1,000. That's 330 feet at 1,000 yards. It's 330 feet field of view, and then your field of vision is not really measurable. It's kind of subjective, but you definitely do see that field of vision if you ever look through any pair of binoculars. You know what I'm talking about. So yeah, the Razors definitely win on that one. They're oh man, what clear glass. One little difference, I guess. I like the Razor more than the Viper, the way they feel. I personally do, and I think that's because I got used to a Diamondback. And if you look at a Diamondback and the Razor, they're pretty. I don't know. I mean, I hate to say they're similar, but they are. If you look at them, the barrel width and all that's about the same. You look at the Viper, a little bit different. It's just kind of a more of a. You can see. Just a little different. I guess more of a telescoping look on it. So the Vipers have eye guards, eye pieces that pop into, if you can see that, they're flush into the barrel. or whatever the technical term for that is, and they pop out. These razors have the same as the diamondbacks that has the cover that goes over the top. I personally don't have a preference as to which one I like more or less. It doesn't matter to me. These just dangle down a little bit, you know. So, you know, I guess it's just your preference. To me, the biggest thing is, of course, the glass clarity. These razors are amazing. The Vipers are amazing. I'm not going to sit here and tell you to go spend $1,000 when you can buy a $500 pair that does almost the same thing. I cannot justify that to you. My wife certainly can't justify that to you. But it's just going to be your preference, you know. I think I'm just in this phase that I'm really liking binoculars, and I wanted a pair of razors, and you know, I went and just got one. So don't know if that helps you out very much. A couple things I'll run through, just the specs on these right quick. The redfield, definitely, if you're looking for something inexpensive, if you're not going to use binoculars much, if you're going on a one-time cruise or something, go get you a pair of something like that. And I kind of see the same thing. Leopold bought redfield a few years back, and redfield has always been a kind of a lower end optic. My last name is Redfield. I have nothing to do with the company. My family didn't. But when Leopold bought them, they brought some good optics and good glass to the Redfield brand. So I do recommend Redfield. They're 6.5 field of view, I think 325 to 1,000. The field of vision is not bad. It's not great. But it's not bad. You don't have to work that focus knob too much, but you do a little bit. The Diamondback 10x28, you have to focus more. That field of vision is, like I said, subjective. You can't measure it, but you do work that focus knob a lot on this. Diopters, once it's locked, it's good, but then I find myself doing a lot of focusing on that one. But it's got the 273 at 1,000, 13.5 ounces, good pair. 10 by 42 Diamondbacks. 330 at 1,000, 6.3, 21.4 ounces. 12 by 50 was 271 at 1,000, 5.2. About the same as the 10 by 28 is for field of view. And, you know, it has more magnification, and you're definitely going to see a difference. But get you, my personal opinion is for you to go ahead and buy the 10 by 42. And if you want clarity, then the Vipers for the price are just fantastic. Vipers 319 at 1,000, 24.6 ounces. I like that weight. That feels good to me. 6.1 degrees, and then of course the Razor is the best of all of them. 362 at 1,000, 6.9 field of view, and 24.8 ounces field of vision. To me is spectacular. I've been lucky enough to look through some of my friends Zavorsky's, and these very, very much match up to those $2,000 optics. I can honestly say that's the truth. These are fantastic binoculars. Now, don't do like me and don't go buy all of these when you really just need to go buy a pair of 10 by 42 razors, or this $1,000, or a 10 by 42 Viper, and either one you're not going to be displeased. I think you'll like both of them. So I hope that helps you. Take care.